Most Amazon sellers focus on ads first, but what if I told you you should focus on inventory first? In this video, I'm going to show you how the pair strategy flips the script and how you can use inventory as a profitable growth lever in your business. Plus, we'll break down the other pillars of pair and how they interact with inventory. But before we get into it, I'll show you some proof. All right, this is one of our client accounts and we're blurring out a lot of the data for confidentiality reasons. But the main thing that I wanted to convey to you here is we are currently managing these products based on the inventory levels. So this product, the first product has 53 days worth of inventory left. The second product has 36 days worth of inventory left. We're actually going to need to place another order pretty soon for this client for the product because they're running quite low. And the reason is because we just finished running a big ranking campaign on this product. We made huge gains, and now we want to lock some of those gains in. One of the things we need to do is make sure we have them as a product to stay in stock so that we don't lose any of our ranking. This third product down here is a great example of a product that we have been really chopping away at the tacos because we were for a very long time running low on inventory. And now we're finally at the point where we are about to be able to start running ranking campaigns. And then the same is true of this fourth product. This product in the last week had a above 30% margin several days. And one of the things that we've been focusing on is just maximizing our sales while minimizing our ad spend because we knew that this product was going to come back in stock soon. And then right here, this product is a launch. So we are proactively trying to burn through inventory, sell as much product as we can so that we can really climb the keyword ranks and make ourselves one of the key players in this market. So that's the different way that we managed our clients' inventory based on the goals. I'm sorry I had to do that, but now you know for real that we are a very serious business when it comes to managing your inventory and how it interacts with your advertising. By the end of this video, you should know how inventory fits into the pair strategy and how you can use it as a key growth lever to grow the profits of your business. So a lot of people have heard of that book, Profit First, but we like to think that there's another area of growth in your business called inventory first, which does actually fit into the profit first mentality. And really what you're thinking about is how do you use inventory and sell the inventory you have for the maximum margin you want, instead of just selling the inventory as fast as you can to make as much sales as you can. So now let's get into inventory first. We're going to break this video down into 4 sections. The 4 sections are starting, ongoing, opportunities, and checkup. So when we're getting starting with inventory first and using inventory in the pair method, the first thing we want to be looking at is the combination of a couple of factors. The 2 factors we're most often seeing is high tacos and low inventory, or low inventory and high tacos. Those 2 things are a no-go. They're like oil and water. You don't want those things happening in your business because they're going to chip away at your profit. So what do you do if you see high tacos and low inventory? The first thing you want to do is pull back on PPC. So you want to go through your list of products. We often do this by looking at Seller Board because it generally does a pretty good job of giving you an accurate margin reading, but you can use whatever tool you want. We're not affiliated with any of them. We actually make our own instead. What you want to be looking for is opportunities to save some money and potentially save some margin. So if you have a product that's low on stock or about to go out of stock, this is the first place you want to start pulling back on your ad spend to maximize your margin. The next thing you want to be looking out for are products with a high amount of inventory and a low amount of ad spend. Traditionally, these are products that have maybe slowed down in popularity. Maybe somebody launched a new variation that's half the price of yours. There's a bunch of different reasons for why you might be high stock and low ad sales, but really what you're looking for is opportunities to spend more money and sell more of these products. And when it comes to inventory, you may also want to start thinking about using promotions along with your ad strategy to start spending more money and maybe getting your sales velocity up on those products. There's a lot of different things you can do, but overall you want to start thinking about how do I chip away at that big inventory number before storage fees and long-term storage fees start making a dent in my profits. Another thing you can consider when it comes to high inventory products is liquidations. Liquidations can be a tough thing to do because a lot of sellers feel like they're admitting defeat. But really what we think of it as is you're finding new opportunities to get cash back into your business that you could redeploy. One of the things we like to do is whenever there's a flagpole day, we try to use that as an opportunity to liquidate any high inventory products that we have in our catalogs. So traditionally, we'll run deep discounts on those days, using Prime exclusive discounts or lightning or 7-day deals, and then accommodation with aggressive PPC to maximize the amount of payout we get from Amazon on products that are already sitting there going stale. Once you've gone through both your high and low inventory products and made a plan for how to start maximizing those different products, the next thing you want to do is start tracking your performance. Now, most sellers we work with already track their profit and loss. Most of them use Seller Board, some of them use something else. Again, we're not affiliated, we just use it. But the next thing you want to do is start tracking your ongoing progress. And that takes us to part 2, which is the ongoing efforts you need to be making. So the way we like to think about this is an ongoing effort on a weekly basis. Generally, from week to week, you can start to see the changes that are made on products if you're making small incremental changes that are having a meaningful impact. Now, we also recommend you check your inventory daily just to make sure that something crazy doesn't happen. You always hear horror stories of Amazon sellers who put one of their products on sale for $1 instead of $10 and completely sold out. Those sellers obviously have horror stories, and we don't want to implement something like that. So it's always important to double check your efforts before you make them. But the main thing you want to be doing is checking on a daily and weekly basis, how's my sales velocity moving and how many days of stock do I have? From there, you want to start forecasting how much product you're going to need in any upcoming orders so that you know with relative certainty how much product you need to order, especially considering things like seasonality, because seasonality can have a massive impact on your business. From there, you also want to start considering your advertising strategy as it relates to your performance overall, especially when it comes to your inventory. So the checkup that we did at the beginning of the start process, you want to do that again every single week. And what you'll notice is it becomes faster and faster as you have fewer and fewer problem children in your catalog. Then you want to check your inventory to make sure it aligns with your promotional strategy. And most importantly, you want to make sure that your inventory aligns with things like flagpole days, any sales you have coming up, any deals you have coming up. And then you definitely want to cancel anything that you don't have the inventory to run. Because as great as a deal looks on your numbers for a day, if you go out of stock for 3 weeks after that, it's not really worth it. And then you also want to factor in the last letter in the pair strategy, which is rankability. And the reason you want to factor in rankability is because you may need to order more product if you're starting to rank a product. So if a product is starting to really take off, you may need to up your inventory order from more than what it was when this product was incremental. And the same can be said, it's very sad to say, but the same can be said for products that are slipping from a rankable product to more of an incremental product. If that's the case and it doesn't look like you can recover your rankings, what you may want to do is just start shifting to more of an incremental approach. So those are the ongoing tasks. They sound like a lot of work, but they're actually quite quick to run once you get into the flow of them. And we recommend you run them every single week and run a light version of them every single day to just check for any big problems that might be coming up. So now we've started and made a plan, and now we're checking on that plan in an ongoing basis. The next thing we need to look for are new opportunities. So the first thing you need to start looking for is opportunities to save money on storage fees. This could be by storing less product at Amazon. It could be by making sure you don't hit long-term storage fees. It could be evaluating the AWD program, which is Amazon's warehousing and distribution program. But all of those can be opportunities where you can save money. The next thing you could consider is evaluating your 3PL strategy. So maybe you use AWD, or maybe you use your own third-party logistics provider. Or, and this is not true in all cases, but can be true in some cases, some suppliers are actually willing to keep your product on hand until you need it. This is especially useful for them if you've got a good long-term relationship and they're willing to store your products for you and then replenish them on a schedule that's more convenient for them. Speaking of relationships, another opportunity for you is developing a longer and deeper relationship with your existing supplier. So one thing you could do is talk to your supplier about how you want to order more product with them and order more in advance, and see if there are ways you can get your cost of goods sold down by removing risk from their future orders. Finally, the last thing you could do is actually go shopping and get quotes from other suppliers. Sometimes the best way to save money is just by going and getting a competitive quote. We decided to keep this section pretty high level because it's not something our business traditionally does, but these are all things we've seen people do to find huge savings in their business. So the last section is the margin checkup section. This is something you do on a long-term basis, where maybe once every month, once every quarter, once every year, you look at the ongoing performance of your products and just see if there are any that are really losing margin. Some common reasons why you might start losing margin is the CPCs in your niche might have gone up, which is leading to a higher cost for each sale or a higher tacos. Competition could have increased, and so you're now getting a smaller percentage of the same market. The most common we've seen is Amazon fees actually start going up, and so you give a higher and higher percentage of each sale to Jeff. And other smaller, more niche things, I'm not going to be able to list them all, but a good example is when your product moves from one category to another. Maybe Amazon resizes it and realizes it's half an ounce over the allotted amount for that storage size. What you want to do in this process is you want to look at your performance over time, evaluate your margin, and then just see if there are any things you can do to improve it. You also want to take a hard look at this product and see if it's maybe just time to kill the product off. Not something fun to say, but sometimes you can redeploy that cash to a different product in your business and get a much better outcome. Overall, you need to be focused on inventory as an opportunity and a lever in your business that you can pull to make yourself more money. By taking an inventory first approach, you can be sure you're already maximizing the things you have instead of focusing on the things you don't. If you liked this video, check out our video in the description about the pair strategy overview and how this entire process works.